Jason Bourne is back. He starts off knowing who he is, he knows how he became Jason Bourne, which was the plot of the first 3 movies. So, what's he doing in this one?
From the old movies of 30 years ago and beyond,
to the world of the new films of the last 30 years.
To the movies that are now playing, this is Old, New, and Now Playing. And now, here's your host, Will Robinson Smith.
Hello and welcome to Old, New, and Now Playing, your time machine through the world of movies. If this is your first time joining me, well, pull up a chair and make yourself comfy, and a special thank you to all of you who are joining me once again. Now, he's gone from searching for his identity to making his ultimatum. Yes, Jason Bourne is back once again on the big screen, so grab your passports, brush up on your hand-to-hand combat. This is your feature presentation. In talking with Variety last December while promoting The Martian, star Matt Damon confirmed that this film, titled Jason Bourne, takes place in present day. And since the events of the Bourne Ultimatum occur in 2004, 12 years have passed in the world of the films. Jason Bourne, based on the character from Robert Ludlum's Bourne trilogy, has majorly fallen off the grid at this point. He lives tucked away in Europe, making ends meet by fighting in what are probably illegal brawls. But things change when Nikki Parsons, played once again by Julia Stiles, walks back into his life. Parsons drags Bourne back into the game when she uncovers some dark secrets that the CIA has been keeping under wraps. Bourne wants nothing to do with it until Parsons tells him that Bourne's father was involved. Always eager to learn more about his past, Bourne agrees to try and find out more and discovers that the new program, dubbed Iron Hand, may be even more devastating than the Touchstone program that created him. And just to get any doubts out of the way, this is in fact a sequel to the Bourne Ultimatum, and actually makes no reference to Jeremy Renner's character of Aaron Cross, who of course was the star of The Bourne Legacy, which came out in 2012. And I think part of what makes this really feel like a Bourne movie is the fact that Matt Damon feels so at home in this role. Does it feel exactly the same as the Bourne trilogy? No, but I don't think it should. Bourne has been out of play for over a decade and is not the same young man who is hell-bent on seeking his true identity anymore. He makes some mistakes as he gets his footing back. Another thing that really helps give it a Bourne feeling is the scale of this film. This movie continues the tradition of a global game of chess between the CIA and Bourne. The movie not only moves across the world, but filmmakers also shot in several different countries, which helped the events feel much more authentic. One key place they had to recreate, though, was the Athens riot scene. Damon told Variety last year that that sequence was filmed in Tenerife, the largest of Spain's Canary Islands. Nevertheless, the locations really brought me into this world, as does the theme of the movie. In the original Bourne movies, especially Supremacy and Ultimatum, the events take place in a post-9/11 world, and certainly by the Bourne Ultimatum, we see some more overt commentary about the role of intelligence agencies and how far we should push people to get a job done.
Do you even know why you're supposed to kill me?
This next little bit goes into what some may consider to be minor spoilers.
Minor spoilers!
And that's because I'll be talking about a character that really isn't featured in much of the marketing or the trailers, so if you don't want any of this bit ruined for you, you can just go ahead and skip to this time code down here. I'll give you a few seconds. 3, 2, 1! Still here? Great. This movie plays on the security themes of today, namely the debate between privacy and security. One of the main storylines of the film pits CIA Director Robert Dewey, played by Tommy Lee Jones, against tech CEO Aaron Kalor, played by Riz Ahmed, who was last seen in the Academy Award-nominated Nightcrawler. Here you see them play out that debate in a way that almost mirrors the discussion we had as a country when our government wanted Apple to write code allowing them to access the iPhone of one of the San Bernardino shooters. I won't go into too many details about how that plays out in this film, but it's an important part of the movie. And since I mentioned him, let's talk for a minute about the performance of Tommy Lee Jones. He's new to the franchise, but I think he fits right in. As I said, he's the CIA director in this world. Like Noah Vosen in the Bourne Ultimatum, Robert Dewey is a man who marches to the beat of his own drum and pursues Bourne with his own agenda. There's a lot of complexity to this character, so I won't say too much about him, but Jones makes him fun to watch on screen. The other big standout from this film is Alicia Vikander. She had a banner year last year with films like The Man from U.N.C.L., her Academy Award-winning performance in The Danish Girl, or one of my favorite films from last year, Ex Machina, which somehow I still don't own on Blu-ray. Need to get on that. In this movie, Vikander plays Heather Lee, a CIA agent with deep cybernetic skills who works with Jones's character to track down Bourne. Again, we see another parallel between this movie and the Bourne Ultimatum. Her character is pretty similar to Joan Allen's character from the film, considering that both work within the CIA and they both clearly have their own agendas. The key difference, though, is that Vikander's character is much more present in this movie and feels like a more dynamic force. The other female lead in the movie, Nikki Parsons, who's played by Julia Stiles, didn't quite work for me. She felt, I don't know, a bit wooden at times, and I thought that was really evident during the scene when she and Bourne are talking during the big riot scene near the statue of Athena. I don't know, I didn't feel the emotion. There were multiple moments when she felt like she was there more as a device to move the plot along, rather than seeming like a real person acting and reacting to the situations around her. I think that's partly due to her performance, but also comes from the script. One thing that both Damon and director Paul Greengrass have emphasized about this project was that they didn't want to return to this Bourne universe until they had the right script and knew what story they wanted to tell. And I felt like, for me, the script both did and didn't work. On the one hand, the reason that Bourne gets pulled back into the world of espionage makes sense, and many of the beats are set up well throughout the movie. One of particular note is the motivation behind the asset, played by Vincent Cassel, who physically hunts down Bourne. Where the script and film kind of lost me, though, was in the overall feel of the movie. Oliver Wood was the cinematographer behind the Bourne trilogy. The cinematography there, especially in the Bourne Ultimatum, felt really well paced and intense, while giving the audience just enough room to breathe, understand what was happening, and then move right on. Wood summed it up best in a piece by the American Society of Cinematographers in which he said, "The franchise has an unscripted, spontaneous quality, like we were lucky the cameras happened to be rolling at the right moment. That applies not only to the cinematography, but also to the acting and the way scenes are blocked." And that gets to the core of what was missing for me. You know, in the original trilogy, it felt like, well, certain players might have had more information than others. It always seemed like everyone was trying to figure out what the other party knew. Here, while there is some of that spontaneous energy, things seem more calculated by both Bourne and the CIA. It's not always a bad thing, but just something that I felt very aware of coming out of the movie. They do nail the action, though. It's that mix of the handheld camera, combined with the close quarter fights and the car chases, that give it that Bourne feeling, even though Oliver Wood didn't return as the cinematographer. Overall, though, while maybe not quite the movie I was hoping for, I am glad I saw it, but would probably suggest, if you're going to go see it in theaters, maybe shoot for a matinee screening. For fans of the Bourne series up till this point, there are some nods and references to the earlier films that you probably would only get if you had seen those earlier films, but at the same time, I feel like you might enjoy this movie a bit more if you aren't as familiar with the earlier Bourne movies, only because they do repeat a number of the same tropes and beats that you see in some of those films. I give Jason Bourne a 6.5 out of 10. It's enjoyable, but could have been done better. So those are my thoughts on Jason Bourne. Once you've had a chance to see the movie, I want to hear all about what you have to say about the film and which of the original Bourne trilogy is your favorite. Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. And I'm guessing you can probably guess which team I root for. As a reminder, like this week, next week there won't be an old or a new review. I'm going to be traveling around Washington, D.C., but I'll still have a review for Suicide Squad next weekend, so watch out for that. Who knows, I might even have a guest on that show. But that will do for today's episode of Old, New, and Now Playing. If you like this review, go ahead and give it the old thumbs up, that would be great. And if you want to stay up to date with everything going on with this channel, just click that subscribe button down below. Thank you so much as always for watching, and I will see you next time.